Hey everybody, it's been a very long, more than a week, since I've been able to make a proper Ramble video like this and upload it to the internet, and I'm about to tell you the story why. And if stories of triumphing over technology and the technological woes that we have these days don't excite you, then I understand. I didn't like going through it myself, but you get what you get from me, okay? So, where to begin? More than 2 weeks ago, my girlfriend Misty, she noticed that we were paying for a lot more than we should with our internet bill from CenturyLink. And the deal was that we were paying for a combo meal that was more than the burgers, fries, and shake put together would cost. We get high-speed internet from CenturyLink. We also get a phone line. Why do we get a phone line? Because we have an alarm system, and there are no cell phones for alarm systems, and it doesn't work over cable modem voice over IP phone lines, so we have to use the phone company for this alarm system's phone. So the price of the phone and the price of the high-speed internet, when added together, were far less than what we were actually paying for our internet. And it was to the tune of like $20–$30 less. Like, just combining the two together, they threw an additional, almost $30 just for the fact that we had two of their services. Which, it's retarded. It should be less of a cost if you have a package deal, right? That's why package deals exist, because it's better for the consumer. So, Misty called CenturyLink, and they were very reluctant to give us the price of just the phone and just the internet alone. They're like, oh yeah, we know about this. We've had calls about this before. Why don't they have all the calls about this? I don't know. But finally, Misty was able to get a representative on the line who said, well, we can do it, but we have to split your bill. Right? So basically you get two bills, one for the phone and one for the internet. Right? You have to have two accounts with them in order to be able to do this thing where you pay for just the price of each thing instead of paying a premium for having two services from the same provider, which is fucking retarded. Ah! Anyways, in order to do this, they actually had to send a technician out to our house in order to install a splitter onto the house in order to give us both services. That's what they said, right? So they said that this would happen within the week, and we wouldn't have any service interruption, and we didn't have to be home for it to happen. About a week later, this is like almost 10 days ago now, our DSL modem stopped working. And sometimes it would work intermittently, but it just would stop working. And we did have a power outage in our city for almost a day prior to that, but it didn't really correlate with it. It was working after that power outage, and then it just started really sucking. Like, it would be on for 20 seconds and then be off for 10 minutes, right? And then it just stopped working altogether. Just red glow of death sometimes, and blinking DSL light on the cable modem. And so we called them up. Once again, CenturyLink, they forgot that I was on the account, so I had to wait for Misty to be awake to be able to do anything. And for the fourth time, they added me to the account so that I could make decisions. Any of you that have life partners that have different last names might also have to go through these same situations where companies forget that you're also on the account. But anyways, it's been frustrating with this company, CenturyLink. Finally, Misty calls them up, and they say, well, we can send a technician out, but it'll cost you. And it was, the price that they quoted her was almost $200. Right? And then she was like, well, hold up, wait up. Maybe it's just the cable modem itself and not the line. And, it might be a waste of $200 to spend to have a technician come out and check our line for this service that we spend money on with you guys every month. So we decided, okay, we're going to take the cable modem down to CenturyLink's office and see if they'll test it. So I did that. I drove down there to CenturyLink, and at their office, they had no means of testing my cable modem. They would not do it. Right? They said, well, we can sell you a cable modem for $168, and it is, we will refund it if you want to return it, but we're not going to test your cable modem, and you don't have a plan with us. We don't see that you have any sort of plan, and we don't offer any plans anymore to rent a DSL modem. Right? We don't have any plan on file, so we don't swap this out for you. Right? And those plans are not in existence anymore. You can't just jump on a plan and pay a couple dollars every month to have a DSL modem that they own and that they are required to swap out when it breaks. So the only solution that we're going to offer you in store right now in order to test your DSL modem is buy one from us for $168. And I felt like it was a giant upsell. I felt like I had been there before and gotten a different result maybe 2 years ago, where somebody just handed me a DSL modem for free, and that's why we have the one we do that's not on any plan, because the person was just like, you know what, here. So now this other person that I get is basically a salesperson who wants to upsell me to the tune of $168. And I got kind of pissed off about that. So we went home. I looked on Craigslist for a couple of listings for DSL modems. Tried calling a few people. No one was answering. One guy said that he was out on vacation, but he'd be back in a few days. And then when he got back, he sold the DSL modem to somebody else. And so I went down to Micro Center the next weekend, and went in there, and they had no DSL modems. They had an entire wall of cable modems. No DSL. And I asked the guys, why don't you guys have any DSL modems? And they looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, that's the old technology. Well, in my neighborhood, we had a cable modem, right? And during peak hours, which is anywhere from like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., cable modems are useless because it's like a highway, and when everyone gets on it, there's congestion, there's traffic jams, right? During those times, it was hard to stream anything, and especially hard for me to upload anything. And being that one of my biggest hobbies, YouTube, is on the internet, I need good internet, right? The cable modems that were offered in our area, at the time we made that decision like 2-3 years ago, they had speeds download of anywhere from 5 to 40 meg, but upload speeds were all, they said, 5 meg, 5 meg, 5 meg, 5 meg for all their plans. Doesn't matter what your download speed, their upload speed was only going to be 5 meg. So when we had the cable modem and I tested it, we didn't even get the 5 meg that they promised us. It was more like 2, right? Because we did the internet speed test. We switched and got a DSL modem, and I went from 20 meg down and 5 meg up. For the same price, I got 40 meg down and 20 meg up. And that's what I've been using for the last 2-3 years, you know, and it's served me well. And CenturyLink has said that pretty soon our neighborhood will have fiber optic lines, gigabyte lines, with 1,000 up and 1,000 down, right? And I can't wait for that. And that will so smoke any cable modem. Anyways, that's in the future. Right now, I'm dealing with the line that I have. Went down to Micro Center, they didn't have it, and that pissed me off because we don't have like a Fry's Electronics here, and Best Buy doesn't have anything, Walmart doesn't have anything, Circuit City doesn't exist anymore. Where am I going to go? You know, Micro Center is my go-to place. So we went to a different place called Action Computers, which deals with used computer stuff, and we thought, well, if the DSL is the old technology, maybe they'll have something. No, they didn't. And they said that the reason why you can't find a DSL modem is because CenturyLink has basically a monopoly on them. You have to buy it from them. You know, and I was like, no, this is not working. So Misty finally reaches a person on Craigslist who sells us a DSL modem for $60. And we go over to his house, and the guy was holding on to the modem for like 30 minutes talking to us. And Misty was holding on to the money. And it was like he didn't have anyone else to talk to. And he was using this sale as like a means to find friends. And if you're going to sell something to someone, don't do that. You know, I wanted to get home and plug it in, not talk to him for 30 minutes. And he was a conspiracy theorist who thought that naturopathic doctors have been dying in strange, large amounts of cases where they all die the same way, like falling off a cliff. And yeah, I wasn't ready to hear his pseudoscience last night. But we finally got through that purchase, got home, plugged in the cable modem, and it still didn't work. So we had narrowed it down to, it's not the modem, it's the line, right? And it probably, because it happened around the time that technician was supposed to come out and split our line into the phone and the DSL, it probably happened around then. So Misty starts using CenturyLink's chat because their phone line was a little clogged, and it said she had like a 10-minute wait. And she had an idea, like, what if this entire time, since the technician messed with our line, what if our alarm system hasn't been working with the alarm company? So she calls the alarm company with my phone while she's chatting with her phone to CenturyLink, and she tests the alarm system by basically setting it off and calling them to see, did they get the signal? And they did. And then all of a sudden, her eyes light up because the modem started working. without any help from the CenturyLink technician, after more than 10 days of not having internet, the thing just starts working because Misty sent out a test call with the alarm system on the phone line. And what we've surmised about this is, when a technician comes out and sets things up this way for the DSL, I guess maybe in order to initiate the line, they're supposed to make a call on it. And because he didn't even come in the house, and we didn't even know he was here when he did come, that call never happened. And so, not having an actual phone connected to the line and not having anyone try to break in our house for more than a week, we just went without internet for that long because of incompetence. And yeah, it all started just by seeing a really strange discrepancy on our bill, and it turned into a very long, prolonged Mike goes through internet withdrawals shitty week. And now I'm back, and let's see, what can you expect from me coming up? On May 23rd, on a Wednesday at 9 a.m., I'm going to be in the arraignment of Joseph Lopez, who is the murderer of Natalie Bollinger. And the reason why I'm going to that is because Misty has a long article on her website, ColoradoUrbanLegends.com, about murders that have happened on or around Riverdale Road. It's a very famous for bad things happening road in the Denver area. And so I'm going to go to that arraignment and just collect some information for her website. And then on June 14th, I have taken off once again to go to Grand Junction to see the arraignment of Alexander Kolpakov for the murder of Heather, his girlfriend. And yeah, you guys know about that. It's the Skeptic Feminist murder trial. Other than that, in about 36 hours, I will have my CPR certification again so that I can still work, because some jobs require that you have CPR even if you're the janitor, just because of where you work, and mine is no different. So even though all I do is talk to people, and if I had a problem, it would be rare that I didn't have help from medical professionals, I still got to get CPR training. So that's on the menu for me. Grab this. I'll be painting Storm from the X-Men onto this background that I've already made of, you know, swishy wind with a flow art style. And yeah, that's a commission, and I'll be tweeting out pictures of that when I finish it. Maybe I'll do some streaming this week, and maybe I'll have some other things to say, but I'm back. As far as having an internet connection, it's working fine, as evidenced by you're seeing this right now. So sorry if I was gone for too long. I know I got a couple comments of people saying, I'm ready for a video now. You're not even a Patreon patron. And you're like, I demand my free stuff that I've been getting for free.